class we are going to see about the basic functional units of a computer architecture. So from this we can able to utilize the functional units of a computer, as well as we can able to identify different hardwares as well as different software can interact with the computer hardware. When you look at the functional units of the computer, there are 5 different units: input unit, output unit, central processing unit, and memory and bus structures. The important unit in the functional units of a computer is central processing unit. It poses ALU and control unit, and all other units are available outside of the CPU. So mainly the computer functions are classified as data processing unit, storage unit, data movement, and control unit. Here, processing, storage, and movement deal with data or information, and control flow coordinates with the data. The operation performed by the computer using the functional unit can be accepts the information from the input unit and transfer it to the memory, and information stored in the memory is fetched under program control into arithmetic and logic unit for the purpose of processing. It means program as well as data can be stored into memory before execution, and normally the execution will be done at arithmetic and logic unit, and after processing the result will be stored back into the memory. So this is the fundamental units or the components of a computer. Input unit used for inputting the data from the terminal, and arithmetic logic unit is used for performing execution, and output unit is for viewing the result, and control unit for controlling the entire operations of the computer. Von Neumann introduces stored program concept. According to this stored program concept, memory is used for storing both instruction as well as data, and if you want to execute our program, it should be loaded into a main memory for the purpose of execution. So in order to control the operation of instruction as well as data within a CPU, we need to fetch the instruction as well as data from memory, and that will be sent to the execution unit, that is ALU, and the control unit will coordinate the operation between the memory as well as ALU. Here, the important unit is the memory unit. It is used for storing the instruction as well as data. Normally, the processor reads the instruction and writes the data from or to memory and the CPU. In order to read or write to and from the processor, we need to have 3 things. One is address information of a memory, and memory location where instruction as well as data are stored, and control operations between CPU and the memory. Normally the processor reads or writes performed with the use of MAR and MBR, or otherwise we will be calling it as MDR, memory data register and memory address register. These 2 registers are importantly used for accessing any word from the memory. Instead of using a single unit of memory, we'll be using hierarchy of memory because the cost, access time and size of the memory will be differing, so that if you want to have a high amount of memory to cooperate with the CPU, we are in a position to use hierarchy of memory. Normally, the primary storage of a CPU designed using random access memory, it is fastest and it is smallest. The primary storage is insufficient to store large amount of data. That is why we are in a position to use the other hierarchy of memory called as secondary memory. Being the RAM memory is expensive, we are in a position to use secondary memories like magnetic disk, tapes, optical disk and other tape drives. Mostly the ALU is an important component in the CPU. It mainly deals with execution on data. Data can be or otherwise called as opcode. Sorry. Data can be or otherwise referred as operand. Data may be present in either memory, sometimes input device, sometimes it may be present in CPU's register. In order to execute an instruction, the operand need to be brought into a ALU from memory. Mainly, the general purpose registers are used to store the value or data or operand transferred from memory. And the output unit normally used for viewing the result of the operation which is done at the ALU. Here CPU is a brain of a computer and it is used for carry out all the computational tasks. Mainly the CPU contains arithmetic and logic unit, control unit and registers. The ALU or otherwise called as functional unit and CU is a control unit. So ALU performs all the kind of executions and control unit provides control signal accordance with timing and control. And registers are used for storing the intermediate results or final results and the input operand which is necessary for execution.